Just before we start today's podcast, I want to say, number one, thank you so much for listening. Please do like and subscribe because it definitely helps us help more people. But if you have been in a bit of a slump recently, you're low on energy, you feel like you're completely out of routine with good fitness and nutrition, you just need a little bit of a reboot. Good news! Our 6-week reboot course applications have opened. We start on the 18th of September. And we only have a limited number of places because, hey, there's only one of me. I can only help so many people at one time. So make sure if you're committed, if you want to do this, if you're ready, you're like, do you know what? I keep saying I'm going to do it and then I don't. And actually, I just need to work on me. Head over to lornamaryfitness.co.uk and click get started. Or just message me on any social media platform and I'll get back to you with more information. Anyway, enjoy this episode.
Hello and welcome to the Lorna Marie Fitness Podcast, the show where we talk all things fitness, health, mindset and lifestyle to help you become fitter, healthier and happier. I help busy people who lack time, motivation and self-belief to look and feel great again. If you want to work with me, head over to lornamaryfitness.co.uk, but for now, enjoy this episode.
It's officially evening now, isn't it? This day's gone really fast. This week's gone really quickly. Here we go. Yeah, this week's gone really, really quickly. So just a quick notice, make sure that you have signed up for the step challenge. Now, if you're going away or you're doing other things during that time, please don't worry, don't panic. It doesn't matter. I just think if it's going to help you stay motivated, stay accountable, and feel part of the journey as well, then it's worth doing. Imagine the alternative. Imagine not doing it. Then how would you feel? All steps are going to be anonymous, so please don't feel like you're under pressure or you've got to, beat someone else's steps or you'll be letting a team down. Don't think like that at all. Team, just get yourself on it. So we're going to be allocating teams over this weekend, so watch out for that one. I'm just getting all the questions up, but if anyone has any questions as we're going through this Q&A, as always, please let me know. And let me just check the sound as well. Any questions? Oh, there I am. Okay, question number 1. Oh, also, please don't forget we've got the September social tickets, which are actually ending. Ticket sales end on Monday for Paint and Prosecco. We're going to be painting a Highland cow. I mean, you might be painting a Highland cow, but my Highland cow is probably not going to look like a Highland cow. We're doing that. And then also we've got our yoga DJ brunch, so we call it Yoga and Vibes. It's with Sounds and Sham, who's absolutely amazing, and we've teamed up with Leah at Creative Mums Club, and she's gonna be sorting us a little goodie bag, a little mini goodie bag. So it's gonna be a great morning, just yoga to relaxing music, and then optional brunch afterwards. I'll definitely be staying for brunch. Don't know about you, but I'll definitely be there. So hopefully you can make that as well. And I'm gonna be putting out the spa tickets, but hopefully you've all seen this in the monthly updates video anyway, and if not, just watch it at some point over this weekend with a nice cuppa, because it just tells you everything that's going to be going on in the squad. In other news as well, Will and I are doing a triathlon on Sunday, and I am petrified. I know I'm always saying, go out of your comfort zone, do something that scares you a little bit, but it's going to be good for you because it builds mental toughness and mental strength, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I am practicing what I preach. I have no idea what to expect. It's my first one, and we've gone in for the Olympic, which is quite a decent distance as well. So it's kind of scary, but I just think, do you know what? Just go and embrace it. You can only do what you can do, right? Just go and do your best. And the only way you can fail is by not doing it, and I am definitely going to be doing it. So I won't fail because I'm doing it. Anyway, question number 1. Let's get going. What is nutritionally best as a side with protein apart from salad? Something filling for those days when we feel a bit hungry. Potatoes? If so, in what form and which ones? Or brown pasta and rice? I have a feeling you may say grains. It would be good to get some clarity. Okay, so as always, when you're making out your dish, I always say if you're an active person or if you're on a weight loss journey, it's best to basically base your meals around a protein source, because 1, it's more filling, and 2, it also means that it's going to be replenishing your muscle. It's going to be helping you repair and rebuild and keep that lean muscle tone, essentially. So that is why we want to focus on protein. But it's really, really important to make sure that you're having a balance. So we need some carbohydrates in there, and yes, we need some veggies or some salad. And generally, like, just think about the rainbow. Like, the more colours on your rainbow, the better. Oh, can't hear you, Lorna, so replay later, not sure what's wrong with my phone. Ange, it could be me. One sec. Quick notice, make sure, not sure what's wrong with my phone. Ange, it could... Oh, is it me? Oh, okay. I think I can hear myself. Let me know, anybody else, if you can't hear me. But Ange, that's fine. I'm going to keep going unless I get told otherwise. So obviously making sure that you start with protein, but then build your plate out. So you definitely need some carbohydrates in there. You need some veggies, some salads, etc. So it's really important to make sure you include carbohydrates within that. Carbs get a bad rep, and that is because some silly person in the 90s or noughties told you they're bad for you because they're trying to sell an Atkins diet. Carbs are your body's preferred source of energy, and they are so important in your diet, part of a healthy, balanced diet. Now, there are ones that are better, how do I say this in a good and PC way? Ones that are more nutritionally complete, that are more nourishing, that are more filling, more satiating than others. So I'm going to talk about those. What you want to go for with a carbohydrate source to bulk your dinner out alongside your protein is... Oh, and you're back and you can hear. Oh, that's good. I thought it was me because I'm doing it a different way today. I'm glad you're there. Yay. So we're just talking about carbohydrates right now, saying that the body's preferred source of energy. And realistically, your diet should be making up about 45 to 65% of your diet should be carbohydrates. I'm just laughing. And you know, it was me. Hey, it's normally me. I'm such a technophobe. Don't worry. So that is really, it's the main part of your diet. That is the bulk of your diet. And the more active you are, the more carbohydrates you need. And also it depends on the person. It depends on the amount of muscle mass you have. It depends on your preference. It depends on, you know, how things sit in your body, how you feel. Do you feel sluggish? Do you not? You know, there's so many factors that go into it. But generally, there should be a really large percentage and proportion of your diet. The ones that you want to go for to bulk out or to go alongside your protein with your meals are the ones that are whole grains. So we're thinking like the brown pasta, the whole grain bread rolls, brown rice, whole wheat pasta. I think I said brown rice already, didn't I? Quinoa's a really good one. So things that are like whole grains, you can go for beans, you know, like black beans. I made a huge list here. Lentils, chickpeas are great, and they're great for a little bit of protein, fibre as well. Potatoes, nothing wrong with a potato. Potato is full of fibre, and you can roast them. You could just be careful with if you do roast them, though. Obviously, like if you're roasting them in lard or goose fat and using a lot of it, of course, you know, you've got other factors to consider there, that they might be higher in fat and higher in calories, and you know, that's absolutely fine, of course. But if you are on a weight loss journey, weight loss diet, or you're trying to watch your waistline, you just need to bear in mind that that is a factor. You know, by all means, enjoy your potato, but just bear it in mind. Do you increase protein if over 50? Great question, Carol. I'll come to that as soon as I finish this one. Brilliant question. So, yeah, you can roast them, you can mash them, you can bake them. Obviously, baking them or boiling them is going to be probably a little bit better than roasting, but if you enjoy roast, that's fine. Sweet potatoes are really nice as well. They give you that little sweet hit, but also they're really high in vitamin A. So sweet potatoes is a really good one. I love sweet potatoes. We went to America one time and they were like serving them with marshmallows. Marshmallows and peanut butter. That was really weird. But obviously, you know, it might taste great. Yeah, I've also put down here roasted vegetables. Yeah, roasted veggies are great. Cauli rice, I mean, I'm on the fence about this one. It's basically mashed up cauliflower that looks like rice, but it's not. I mean, you might want it. I think things like that would probably be like more pleasing to the eye, because it'll be lower in carbs, but fill up a lot of your plate. So if you're looking for that, maybe that one. I'm not sure about that one, but maybe that one. Basically, carbohydrates that are less processed, the better. So the less processed, the better. But that's not to say that you can't have your white bread and enjoy it. I definitely enjoy some white bread, toast with some peanut butter and banana chopped on top. It's lovely. But if you're looking for things that are going to fill you up more, things that are going to be more nutritionally complete, more nourishing for your body, then the less processed, the better, or minimally processed. Okay, hopefully that helps. Carol, your question, do you need to increase protein if over 50? Now, you need to be more mindful about getting enough protein into your diet. So it depends on how much you're having already. So what you want to do, and this is kind of for everyone really, there's no harm in doing this, is if you take your body weight in kilograms, so whatever that might be, take it in kilograms, and times it by 1.5. You can go 1.5 to 2, but I would times it by 1.5 and make sure that is your daily target of grams of protein. So if you took someone that was 60 kilograms, their daily target protein, you want to be aiming for around about 90 grams a day, maybe up to 120 grams, spaced out throughout the day. So that's step one, to make sure you get enough protein. And the reason to go for a bit of a higher target is, one, if you're a really active person, like I said before, it helps with muscle recovery and helps you keep that lean muscle tone. Two, if you're on a weight loss journey, it's more satiating, and again, it helps you keep your lean muscle tone, your muscle tissue. That's what we want to keep. And then, yes, if you're over 50, there's two things. So if you're hitting that perimenopausal, menopausal stage, there's two things you want to be doing. And that is, one, stimulating the muscle. So creating a stimulus by actually working the muscles, so strength training, and then making sure you're having adequate protein to replenish them. And the reason we do this is because when you hit the menopause, you have a decline in estrogen, and that can cause, it does cause exponential muscle mass loss if you don't do anything about it. So it's not the end of the world. It just means that we need to be more mindful that we're definitely making sure that we are putting strength training into our week. So I would be doing minimal 2 strength-based classes, and ideally with a barbell as well. Barbell or hand weights. Barbell's a bit better, but yeah, hand weights if you've got those. So you're creating that stimulus and then making sure you have enough protein. And like I said before, space your protein out throughout the day, because your body can only absorb so much in one go. So it's no good sitting down at the end of the day and be like, I need to eat 90 grams of protein in one go, because your body won't be able to absorb it all in one go. So that's why, another reason I say, base each meal around a protein source, and then it'd be quite easy to hit your protein target. I hope that answers the question. But if you've got any questions about what I just said, just let me know. Okay, next question. And I've just got rid of the questions, so that's not good, is it? Here we go. Found them. Can you recommend classes for strengthening quads and supporting knees? I absolutely can, yes. And you do right to think that strengthening your quads will help towards supporting your knees as well. But it's really important to make sure that if you're trying to strengthen your quads to support your knees, which it sounds like you are here, you want to be making sure that you're not just working the quads. If you have really tight quads, that can actually pull on your knees too. You want to balance the muscles out. So you want to be working the front of the legs, the quads, the back, the hamstrings, your glutes. You want to be working your core, your lower back. You want to be making sure your hips aren't too tight, so a bit of hip mobility. So really good focus on the lower body. And I would say for that, stronger, that's going to be a really good bet. You've got lower body strength if you tap that into the on-demand area as well. Body conditioning, which is where we use our booty band. That is really good for the quads, and also for helping support the knees, because you're working your adductors and your abductors, which are the muscles on the inside and the outside of your leg, and that's going to help with knee stability. So very quickly to recap, stronger, I'd be doing low body strength, I'd be doing the booty band classes, and then for the mobility side of things, I would be doing Pilates and yoga as well. Pilates is going to give you a really good hit for your core, big tick in the box there. And then make sure you're doing your yoga just to make sure you've got hip mobility, flexibility. There's quite a lot of that in Pilates as well, actually, but if you can, doing both is great. Question number 4. I play a lot of tennis and netball. What should I do to improve my power and agility with all the changing directions? So, in these sports, you've got the acceleration, you've got the deceleration, you've got to slow down to actually then hit the ball or whatever. I'm saying it like I play tennis. I mean, I don't really play tennis that often, but I know how it works. There's a lot of side to side. You've got to change direction. There's a bit of unpredictability about it, isn't there? So that means you need a little bit of everything, to be honest. I would be improving my power through things like hit and hit with weights. So you're working a bit of strength there, but you've also got all the plyometrics that we do in that, so all the jumping and the landing, which is obviously really important in both netball and tennis. We do quite a lot of agility moves, you know, like your skaters and things like that in hit. So I'd be looking at doing hit with weights. I'd be doing things like stronger with a barbell to improve my strength. I'd be doing Pilates, so I've got that core work and the mobility. And then similarly to the question before, to be honest, with all the changing directions, you've got to take care of those knees. So it is going to be a case of working the muscles in the lower part of the body, making sure you're doing enough strength in different ways. Mobilizing so nothing gets too tight. And then I suppose with this as well, maybe a little bit of balance work. So yoga flow is really good for that. And we do quite a lot of agility and speed in things like aerobics and combat. So we'll be practicing a lot of changing directions in those classes. So basically a little bit of everything, but I would prioritize, as in the previous question, I'd be prioritizing strength, probably hit with weights so you get more plyometric work in there for power, and probably Pilates, yeah, if I had to say 2 in there, but generally you just kind of want all-rounded, really. Okay, last question, unless anyone's got any more. I love questions. Please hit me with your best shot, hit me with your questions. I need to practice anyway being more on the spot, because I'm going on the BBC on Monday. I've been invited into the studio. I've done it before where I've had like phone call interviews, and I've always been in my living room like pacing up and down, but I've actually been invited into the studio, which is very exciting and scary. By the way, if you hear a weird noise, the dog's snoring. It's not me. The dog is snoring. Okay, really random question, Lorna. When exercising in whatever class, how should you hold your body? Should you have your core zipped up all the time? Does this protect your back better? Sorry in advance for the weird question. It's not a weird question at all. It's a really good question. Well, it really depends on the move you're doing. Yes, it is extremely important to maintain, good core control and strength and alignment and posture when you're doing classes. And more so in classes, where you're going to be lifting weights. So you want to make sure you are bracing. We say bracing or zipping up through the core, because kind of just makes you, the thought of it just makes you kind of brace, doesn't it? Zipping up through the core when you're lifting to protect your back. Make sure you're doing it with good form. That is why it's so important. And the more you practice it, the more you get used to it. And when you're doing like lower intensity and lower impact moves, you probably do it without even realizing you're doing it to an extent. And it doesn't mean you have to go around with a really tight core like someone's prodded you in the stomach the whole time. It doesn't mean that. I would say, depending on what move you're doing, depends on how much you need to brace. Like if you are going to be lifting up something heavy from the ground, that is probably where you want to make sure you're engaging your core properly before you stand up again and lift it. Say you're lifting a heavy box. Yeah, that is when you want to be bracing for that, because you don't want to pull your back out, right? I think Pilates is a really good way to practice. Every time we do that exhale, drawing navel into spine, bracing the core. And that I honestly think Pilates and Pilates breath is probably one of the best ways to practice it. But yes, I suppose if you didn't ever engage your core like at all or brace your core, we'd be flopping around all over the place. So we do it to an extent all the time. But it's really, really good. And I think the point of this one as well is it's really good to be mindful about what you're doing and how you're doing things. So just thinking about what move you're doing, how do I need to be holding myself in this move? And then, bracing, how much do I need to brace my core really? And you can just kind of use the common sense for that one. If you're doing a jab cross, and my torso is twisting side to side. I'm not going to be thinking about keeping my hips stable and in one position and bracing up through the core. So it just really depends on the move. But then if I'm, like earlier when we were saying skaters, side to side, I am going to be thinking about engaging through the core so that I feel strong as I push off one leg and leap to the other side. And that's going to keep my hips nice and stable. So just be really mindful when you're doing the moves. And also, don't stress about it too much, because you probably are subconsciously... I'm sorry, can you hear the dog? Subconsciously doing it anyway. Anyway, gang, that is all from me with the questions today. Thank you so much for your lovely questions. They were great. So before I go, just make sure you have signed up to the Step Challenge. The deadline is tonight, because we're going to be setting the teams basically tomorrow morning. You will hear from us over the weekend. So if you don't hear tomorrow morning, don't panic that, oh my gosh, I'm not heard, I'm not in a team. We'll let everybody know when we've allocated all teams. So you know if you are Team Lorna, Team Will, or Team Laura. Anyway, that is all from me. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. And enjoy your Friday night, everyone. Here's to a great September. Let's do this.